What's up, everyone? Nick here, and welcome to episode 5 of the Nick Symmonds Show. This is a fantastic, this is probably my favorite episode yet because the quality of the questions are there. We had about 5 or 6 call-ins, and these kids are so smart. They really understand what they're doing, and their questions were perfect. I can't wait to knock these ones out of the park. We're talking about my goal of deadlifting 500 pounds straight into a 5-minute mile. But then beyond that, we're also talking about how to walk under your school's team. We get into my opinion on the super shoes that are taking over the world of running. We also talk about running while sick and how to do the little things to achieve 100% of your potential. Let's get right into it. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Nick Symmonds Show. I am your host, Nick Symmonds, and we have a great show for you today. We've been talking a lot about setting goals, achieving goals, and we've even had the wonderful opportunity of connecting with many of you via our Q&A portion of this show to learn about your goals. But today, for my Monday monologue, I really want to catch you guys up to speed on my big, audacious physical goal for 2021. Now, those of you who have followed me on YouTube, followed me on Instagram, you know that earlier this year, I combined 2 of my all-time favorite things in the world, running and lifting, into a big, crazy challenge. My goal for 2021 is to deadlift 500 pounds and go straight into a sub 5-minute mile. And I want to do it all under 5 minutes. And it was a goal that was originally, I saw this on the internet. I saw a guy do it. I know that it's humanly possible. I just don't know if it's humanly possible for this 37-year-old retired runner. But I just loved the challenge. It was something that seemed almost attainable, but makes me wonder if it's even possible. And those are my favorite kind of goals. The goals that really make me sit back and say, I am going to have to really work and study to become great at this. So I went into the gym. I said, I got to set some baselines. I ran a 4:55 mile on the track. And then the next day I went into the gym and I deadlifted 330 pounds. And, you know, I was really excited about the sub 5-minute mile, but really dejected after that 330 pound deadlift. Even though 330 pounds is a big deadlift, it's 170 pounds away from my goal of a 500 pound deadlift. And I went through what we've talked on this show multiple times about. I began to go through the valley of despair. The initial hype, the initial excitement about this new goal started to wear off, and I just began to realize how much work it was going to take to be able to do this. I've been through the valley of despair many times before. I talked about it when I tried to get, when I was working towards my college degree. I talked about it when I tried to become a pro runner. A big valley of despair when I tried to get my pilot's license. I know how to push through this. And so today, in this show, I want to talk about how I began to push through that valley. I know that many of us have heard about the 10,000 hour rule. Malcolm Gladwell made this really famous. He said, it takes about 10,000 hours to become great at something. And if you really do the math, it's decades, it's years of work to add up to 10,000 hours. But here's a little cheat that I learned in pursuing some of my other goals. Let other people do those hours for you. We can learn from experts. We can learn from people who have come before us along this path. And they can cut those hours substantially, right? So as I'm beginning to approach this 500 pound deadlift, I could go in that gym and try to figure it out. And actually, I have some videos of me trying this, and just my form is horrible. I'm not using the right implements, like, my back strap, my wrist guard. I'm missing everything. I'm lifting in the wrong shoes. I began to watch videos on YouTube, and YouTube's a wonderful resource. There's so much knowledge decentralized there that you can learn anything you want on YouTube. But I also began to ask coaches. I began to talk to people in my gym who were better at me at all of these lifts, and I began to work my butt off. I would take the information I learned on YouTube. I would take the information I learned from the coaches. I would film myself doing this deadlift, and in just 3 months, I went back into the gym, and I cranked a 400 pound deadlift. That's what is that? Over 20% increase in just 3 months. It never, ever would have been possible if I wasn't humble enough to sit back and say, I am not an expert in this subject. I know almost nothing about this, but there are people out there who have come before me and they can teach me these things. That's what I aim to do on this show, especially during our Q&A process, Q&A portion of this show, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But I love nothing more than to hear other people's goals and to be able to hopefully cut some of that 10,000 hour, learning curve down. If I have come before and I have an opportunity now to pass along that knowledge, it's a huge honor for me to do so. So right now I sit here, I've got about a 400-pound deadlift under my belt, and I've put on some weight in order to do that. I'm now wondering, what can I do for an all-out mile right now? Well, we're actually going to find out in 1 week's time on my main channel, Nick Simmons. We have all-out mile versus subscribers coming very, very soon, so make sure you subscribe to that channel and check that out. But I still have about 7 months to play around to continue to improve my deadlift and can, ideally maintain that fitness that I was in earlier this year and still be able to run a sub 5 minute mile. So it's a big goal for me. That's where I stand right now. But, I was talking also about using the right equipment, and especially when we're doing technical things, having the right equipment can make all the difference. I've gone ahead and I've actually linked in the description below. I've linked some of my absolute favorite workout products. These are products that I use on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis, from lifting to running. These are products that have really, really helped me improve my lifts. It helped me improve my running. And so check those out. I'll link them in the description below again for those that are listening. There is a video format, version of this podcast that's available. The Nick Simmons Show, and also clips on Nick Simmons too. So that's where I stand in my goal. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I am providing weekly updates over on my Instagram at Nick Simmons with where I stand in that goal. But this one still, I know I've made a big jump from 330 to 400 pounds. It's still a long way off, and I could really use your encouragement. So please shoot me a message on Instagram or leave a message in the comments below. I need you guys to keep me hyped up. I try to stay pretty positive. I try to hype you guys up on your goals, but in turn, I need you guys to keep me focused and keep me hyped on this goal. Speaking of goals, let's jump right into the Q&A portion of this show. All right, Nicholas from Katy, Texas, man. How old are you?
18.
Wonderful. Are you in high school and college?
I'm about to graduate and go into college.
Good for you, man. All right. Well, welcome to the show. You can ask me anything.
All right. So I've been doing wrestling and taekwondo
Nice.
ever since I was like 4 years old, and I didn't really get exposed to running until like high school when we started doing running for conditioning during the off season.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I really enjoyed running, so I tried to get into track and field during high school. But since it's in the spring and that coincides with the taekwondo tournament season and freestyle and Greco, I never really was able to get into it.
Sure.
Now that like I'm going on to college and stuff, and I'm done with wrestling, and they don't have any taekwondo schools there. I was wondering, like, I was gonna like maybe try to walk on to the team. I'm going to Sam Houston State University. It's kind of a medium-sized school in Huntsville, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's D1, but I was talking to my cousin about it, and we were trying to decide whether I should do like sprinting, mid-distance, or distance. And I did some trial runs this Sunday, and we decided I'm not doing mid-distance because I am absolutely trash at it. But my sprints were pretty good. I got a 13:04 under 100.
That's great.
But I think I want to do distance because I think I got a 22-minute, like 22-ish minute 5K, which I think I talked to somebody on the track team. They said they get on have a really good chance of walking onto the team. I would have to get either a 10.7 100 or an 18-minute for 5K, which I think it would be easier to shave off 4 minutes off the 5K than it would be 3 seconds on the 100. I just wanted should I try to do it?
That's a great question. I think you're so raw, Nicholas. You're so raw with running, right? Because you've only dabbled in the sport of running. I love that you are now setting new goals and new challenges for yourself. And when you go to school, if you can walk on, that's phenomenal. But there's also running clubs, and there are, there's clubs with the university. There's clubs in the city. You're going to get to try everything. But I do like this idea of training your butt off, maybe not for, running in general, but trying to pick what you want to train for. Let me ask you this, because this will definitely affect the answer that I give you. What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy cranking intervals spiked up on the track and hitting the weights really hard? Or do you enjoy being out with a group of guys, going out for long distance runs, hammering intervals, that kind of training? Because if you take out middle distance, which is what you said you don't want to do, you're looking at the two very ends of the spectrum. And typically, you're going to be best at what you enjoy. Do you love the long distance training, or do you love, gripping and ripping in spikes on the track?
I think I like the running in a group and all that stuff.
I know I did. I mean, that's how I fell in love with running, was going out in the beautiful trails of Boise, Idaho with 3 or 4 of my buddies and just running up and down the hills or running along the river. I absolutely loved it. If you're saying that you enjoy that, then by the nature of you enjoying that type of work, you're going to be best at that type of racing. And the cool thing about that is right now, we're a year away from the 2022 track season. And if your goal is to walk onto that team, shaving 4 minutes off a 5K for somebody as raw as you are is absolutely doable. If you start putting in the work today and you build a massive base in the fall, and that could look like walking onto the cross country team, that could look like training for a 5K or a half marathon with a local running group, you train through the winter, I absolutely think that it is a very realistic goal for you to walk onto that team. 4 minutes in the 5K is a lot, and I'm sure there's some people out there saying it's not possible. I'm telling you, as a guy who did it myself at your age, it is absolutely possible because you're raw and you don't know how great you can ultimately be in the 5K. But I'd promise you this, it will take a lot of work. But it sounds like you're not afraid to work your butt off. I know wrestlers, man. I know you're not afraid to work.
Yeah, it's grind.
Absolutely. So the best advice I can give you, now that we've kind of narrowed it down to training towards that 5K or those longer distances, one thing that can help you stay very focused throughout the next, 6 to 9 months, pick a race later this summer or pick a race in the fall, a 5K, a half marathon, and really start to train for that. Learn as much as you can via YouTube videos, via books, via this show. Learn how you can start preparing for those longer distances, what it means to periodize, what it means, to find the right shoes for yourself, and how to build weeks of base training. I've got a couple books out. I don't know if you've checked them out. There's How to Be a Better Runner is available at nicksimmons.com, and also my 2012 training log. And those will show you examples of some workouts that I did in base building and also how I approach a season. So there's so much knowledge out there for you. I would encourage you to become a real student of distance running and then apply that knowledge to your own training. I just think you have a really bright future ahead of you. The fact that you've proven you're willing to work hard, the fact that you're now going to apply that towards this new goal. Don't question 4 minutes. For all we know, you may shave 6 minutes. You're so raw. You're so young. I'm excited to see what you end up doing. Thank you so much for the question. I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nicholas. There we go. How you doing, Colin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Where you at?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville.
In my bedroom.
Love it. All right. Shouldn't you be in school?
Well, that's the thing. I'm on my free periods plus lunch right now for online. I'm
Perfect
sick.
timing then. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Nick Simmons Show, man. You can ask me anything.
All right. Here's what I was wondering. I have 2 questions, one pertaining to me and one pertaining to just kind of running in general.
Sure.
So first question is, so I'm currently struggling with like a cold or sickness, and I have the KIL meet, which is like the city meet, I guess, tomorrow. It was supposed to be today, but we have tons of thunderstorms, so it got canceled.
Yeah.
So it's tomorrow. So how would you say I prepare best for that? If how do I stay positive looking towards that meet?
Great question. All right. So here's what I'd say about competing when you're ill. First of all, I know like mentally we always want to be at 100%, firing on all cylinders when we compete, right? That's not the case, right? Because we compete year round, tracks a long season, cross country's a long season. You don't always get to be firing on all cylinders when you compete. So part of being a championship athlete is rolling with the punches, is saying, I'm going to bring the best possible product I can today. Now, what does that mean to bring the best possible product you can when you're sick? You've got to be sleeping. You've got to be resting as much as you possibly can. Take over-the-counter drugs that are legal. Make sure you check in with your coach, check in with your AD. Can you take, stuff that's going to clear you out a little bit?
Yeah, I've been stuffing myself with vitamin C.
Perfect. Yeah, drink liquids, eat healthy, rest, vitamin C. I really believe that there are things we can do as we're getting sick that, that can help, kind of mitigate the symptoms. You really don't want to be stuffed up. That being said, I have won conference titles. I have won NCAA titles while I was really, really sick. And this is a little secret that I'm going to give you guys that I used as kind of like a mental tool that helped me compete when I was sick. I have no idea if there's science behind this. So all you scientists out there, leave me alone. This is something that a coach told me, that a physiologist told me, and I latched onto it. When we're sick, our body goes into fight mode, right? We have to fight off that virus. And I'm told that our bodies boost testosterone. They boost all these fighting hormones that make us superhuman strong to fight the illness. You can harness those hormones. Again, I don't know if this is scientifically true, but it feels true. Harness those hormones, harness that extra testosterone, get in there and be competitive, right? Your body is in fight mode. Take that fight with you to the track, okay? And I have had some of my best races, some of my best performances while I was sick. So I know it doesn't feel good. We're maybe not sleeping as well as we'd like. We're stuffed up on the starting line. It's okay. You can still kick butt on the track.
Okay, yeah, I'm guessing best idea would be to make the race tactical so that I don't have to work as hard the whole race.
100%. That is such a great analysis, Colin. A tactical race allows you to utilize other things than just your heart, your lung, and your legs. Now you're using what's between your temples. You're using your brain to race. And if you're a strong racer, if you're mentally strong and you have a lethal kick, then a tactical race is a fantastic way to run when you're sick. And also, it's a championship race, right? So when especially in championship settings, the W, performing well, and by that I mean racing, that is what you're there for. Running a fast time, it just is meaningless. It's all about competing at championship meets.
Yeah, I'm there to get top 2 and move on.
There you go. Exactly. Live to fight another day. What's your second question?
Okay, and then I was also wondering, I'm sure you've been asked this, what are your thoughts on the super shoes?
Super shoes. Colin might get 2 clips this week. Those are 2 really, really good questions. Well, my thoughts on the super shoes. Now, for those of you who are listening that aren't familiar with the controversial topic that is super shoes, right now we're seeing massive, massive technological advances in shoes, both in training shoes like the Nike Vaporfly, which I would consider less a training shoe and more a road racer. The Alpha Flies, the Dragonflies. I know I'm missing some flies out there. What's that?
The Air Zoom Victories, the 800, 1500.
Yeah, I haven't even seen those yet. We are seeing these massive technological advances, and these shoes are so well designed that they're allowing people to run times that maybe they couldn't run in a regular pair of shoes. So, Colin, this reminds me a ton. I don't know if you're old enough, but about a decade or 2 ago, we saw this in swimming when the swimsuits were created they called them shark skin swimsuits, and it really allowed people to swim world records left and right. I mean, every single time someone jumped in the pool, they were swimming a world record. And ultimately, the governing bodies of swimming had to regulate the suits because there has to be, a fair playing field. And I feel the same about shoes. I love that technology allows us to perform better, allows us to do greater things. One of the reasons we run so fast today is we're running on a standardized rubber track and not on cinders, right? So that's the piece of technology that's allowed us to run faster. Technology that helps us is great, but it has to be a fair playing field and it has to be regulated. So what I feel about the shoes is IAAF, which I think is now called World Athletics, IOC, all the acronyms that govern track and field and running, they need to step in and they need to say, okay, these are the parameters that we are going to play in. And all the shoe manufacturers know what the rules are and we play within those rules. As long as we all know what rules we're playing by, it's a level playing field. But I'm usually hesitant to like shout out companies that I'm not working with and not partnered with, but I just have to give a shout out to Nike for pushing the limits. I'm so proud of the PLMs and the company that is Nike for really thinking outside the box. Every time I look at a company, that's not Nike right now, all they're doing is playing catch up to Nike. Right? All they're doing is seeing what Nike's doing and then copying it and calling it something else. I am so proud of Nike for pushing the limits. And yes, all the companies need to be reined in and playing under the same set of guidelines. But I'm super, super proud of the work that Nike is doing to push the limits on this technology. That's my feeling on it. I'm curious, Colin, what is your opinion on this?
I feel like the training aspect of the shoes is more because it allows athletes to train harder.
Yeah.
Because there's the lower chance of getting injured and your energy return is higher. I heard that analogy from Ben True and Alan Webb, and I thought that was like the best.
100%. I ran in the Vaporflies quite a bit, and though I believe that at a $250 price tag, that's a crazy expensive trainer. If you can afford it, I love the way that the foam, the Zoom X foam feels. It feels so cushiony, and especially for a 190-pound bison lumbering out there on the asphalt. Being able to get that nice cloud under my foot felt great. So, shout out to Nike on a great pair of shoes there.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Colin, you're the man. Those were two great questions. I need you to go rest up, all right? You got to kick butt in that track meet. Don't worry about being a little bit sick. Hydrate, eat well, rest, win.
All right.
Thanks for the questions.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling from?
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Love it. All right. I need to get back out to Wisconsin. The world's largest fly-in occurs every year at Oshkosh, and so I'm gonna fly in one year. I'm gonna go to Oshkosh, EAA.
Kenosha, I know a lot of people who would love to race you.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I get a lot of people messaging me saying we need to race in Wisconsin, so coming soon. All right, welcome to the Nick Simmons Show, Trevor. You can ask me anything.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess what's a really good shoe for the 800?
A really good shoe for the 800. Is that your event?
Yeah, I started the 800 last year, and I really wanted to do good on it, and I actually have all my goals right here.
Love it. All right, for those of you who are listening to the podcast, Trevor has all of his goals written down on sticky notes right next to his bed, which, Trevor, where'd you get that from?
Your videos.
I believe in this so much that I do the same thing. I've done this my entire adult life. Write your goals down on a sticky note. Put them next to your bed. Makes you 42% more likely to achieve them. So one of your goals is to run faster in the 800, or what do you got for me with regards to the 8?
Actually, I had my first race on Friday for the 8, and my goal was, because I only started last year, so I didn't expect myself to be really, really good. So my goal is to break 220 because that was my PR, and nice. I got a 217 actually with a run gum in.
That's what I'm talking about. Dude, Trevor, it really makes me feel good to know that the products we're creating and the lessons that we're teaching, that they're helping you. So, but we're not taking all the credit. For you to shave 3 seconds off your 800, that's a big personal best, and you should be very proud. You must have worked hard for that. So we'll take a little bit of percentage, from the boost that we gave you with the run gun, but really the majority of the credit goes to you for racing hard and running hard and all the hard work that you put in. Now, as far as the shoes go, what did you race in?
I raced in Mambas.
Mambas. All right, so when the Mambas came out, I told Nike, I was sponsored by Nike at the time. I said, Nike, just go ahead and send me 10 pairs of these because this is the best shoe you've ever made. You can't make a better shoe, and I'll just race in this for the rest of my career. That's how much I felt I loved the Mambas. And then
love them.
They're great.
On.
It's a perfect shoe, but you know what? The technology's come quite a ways. We actually just got off the phone with another young man who was talking about what do they call them? The Nike Air Zoom Victories. And I haven't had a chance to test these shoes out, but obviously everybody's loving them. I can say that I did help develop the original Victories, and I really believe in that shoe. And I also helped develop a shoe from Brooks called the Eliminate. And at the time, I would say, this was back in 2016. At the time, I would say that was the best shoe on the market. So I'm gonna just kind of call out a couple of the shoe companies: Nike, Brooks, et al. I haven't tried any of the new spikes. I'm happy to try them and feature them in one of my Nick Simmons videos. But I feel a little bit like I've never want to speak about something that I'm not an expert on. I am not an expert on shoe technology, for the 800 in 2021. But I don't think you can go wrong with the Nike spikes. Again, I'm not paid to say that. I'm not under contract with Nike. But I just know that the product is that they make are very, very high quality. And I am super excited to try those Nike Zoom Air Victories.
I love my spikes. It's just foot got big. It started ripping the material, so I'm just going to have to get new ones. I actually got the Brooks Revels.
Yeah.
My feet got them for me, but they're hurting my feet, so I need
to try something new.
Like the launches. My other friend said I should get the launches.
Yeah, I love the launch. It's a really nice lightweight trainer, kind of all purpose. You can do tempo runs in it, but you can also go do long runs. Trevor, I give away a pair of shoes to one of my Instagram followers every single week, right? All right.
Yeah,
are you following me on Instagram?
Yeah, I think I've been following you for, a year and a half, maybe 2 years now.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Fingers crossed that you win one of these times. We do this every single week. We're doing it every week through the end of 2021. So my fingers are crossed for you. I hope you win and can get your hands on a new pair of shoes soon.
Thank you. And also, my other goal was the 400 meters because in middle school, I was a sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
And then my coach wanted, basically forced me to do cross country. No regrets. I love cross country. And my goal was my 8th grade PR was 59. And I really wanted to beat it the first race I had. So on Saturday was my second race. And I PR'd and got a 57.
Nice.
So
how old are you, Trevor?
16.
Trevor, at your age, if you put in the work, you should be expecting PRs left and right because you're getting 1 year stronger, 1 year older, 1 year more mature. I miss more than anything. I miss being your age and just crushing PRs left and right. But you got to put the work in. So make sure you do that. And every time you step on the starting line, know that you have an opportunity to do something that your body has never, ever done before and kind of get amped up, get excited about that opportunity.
Yeah, all winter, the whole winter, I was just training my butt off. It was so hard because of all the snow and whatnot. But it was really great. It was really, really good.
Well, keep kicking butt, and hopefully Ryan and I make it out to Wisconsin very soon to shoot a video.
Yeah, great place, especially in the summer.
Heck yeah. All right, Trevor, thanks so much for calling in.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck with your season.
All right, thank you.
Where are you calling from?
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Nice. Olympic Training Center. I love it.
Yes, sir.
You at the Olympic Training Center, or are you just living there?
I'm just living here. I haven't been there before.
I haven't either. I've always wanted to go visit it.
Yeah, we live sort of around it, and it's a beautiful campus, but I've never been on there.
Yeah, well, Benjamin, welcome to the Nick Simmons Show. You can ask me anything.
Okay, so I have a question. So everyone says, in running, do the little things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these obvious little things like hydration, nutrition, recovery, core. And I feel like there's always more you can do. And people always say there's more you can do. And what are those extra little things outside of just the kind of basic ones?
Benjamin, that is a fantastic question. It's one I get a lot, but because I think it needs a more detailed answer, I almost never answer it in DMs or anything. And so I'm so glad you asked that, and I will give you my absolute opinion on the little things. Number one, they're called the little things for a reason, right? Like you mentioned it, core and sleep and hydration, all very important, but the majority of what's going to help you is training your butt off. So once you've covered the training, and I know you know this, I'm just saying it for the listeners out there who are so excited about their nutrition and sleep, and I'm like, but there comes secondary to the training. Once you feel like your training is where it needs to be, you're kicking butt at the training, you've got the mental side of racing down, then we can start focusing on the little things. And I will go through the little things. I'm going to give you the top kind of top three little things that I think make the biggest difference. Number one, by a long shot, is sleep. And my number one rule of training, and this is part of training, was to never wake up to an alarm clock. Because I really believe that if you're, waking yourself up in the middle of the night, from an alarm clock, then you are, one, probably interrupting a REM cycle. You're probably robbing your body of the rest that it needs. When you are resting, you are training in the sense that you are building yourself back stronger. So get enough sleep is my number one little thing by a long, long margin. Number two is going to be your nutrition. And I really think that if your engine's hot enough, it can burn anything. I say that kind of tongue in cheek because it's true to some extent for distance runners. You need to be taking in a ton of calories, but also think of your body as a Ferrari. You don't put cheap gas in a Ferrari, right? You put the good stuff in the Ferrari and make sure that engine's running well. So make sure you're taking in a lot of calories because you're burning a lot of calories, but make sure those are quality calories. I've never subscribed to any diet. My kind of golden rule when I eat is I look down at my plate and I say, is that a colorful plate? If it's colorful, that's a good sign. It's got fruit, it's got veggies, it's got protein, it's got carbs. I need to be ticking all of those boxes. And maybe number three, I think hydration is really, really key, but I'm going to glance over that just because it should be part of nutrition. Like hydration just needs to be an automatic. Number three, I would say, is lifting. And that may be counterintuitive to a lot of people out there. And maybe they'll link that into training. But I really, really believe that functional strength training is going to take somebody from, 90% of their potential to 100% of their potential. And I don't care whether it's for the 100 meters. I don't care whether it's for the marathon. Every single athlete in any single discipline, doesn't even have to be running, every single athlete can benefit from functional strength training. So I know there's a lot of resources out there online. I have a few resources out there. I really believe in functional strength training to make you the strongest athlete that you can be. And it helps you with posture. It helps you with running economy. It's super, super important part of training, but also one of the little things that gets neglected. What are some of the little things that you use that you have found extremely helpful?
For me, like what you said, a huge thing that I realized, like the second I started going to bed at 9:30 instead of 11:30 or 12, my races just started like immediately, just 1 week of sleep. I got so much better.
But it's not always easy, especially at your age, right?
Yeah,
I remember at your age, I sat on the computer on AOL Instant Messenger till like 2 a.m, and I slept through my classes and I ran like crap. And I wish more than anything I could have gone back and done exactly what you're doing and go to bed at 9:30. It's so smart.
Thank you. It's definitely a big part. And then I don't know, I think the one thing that I haven't been good at is like core and just like strength, like what you said. So is that super the key to all of that? Is
how old are you, Benjamin?
17.
At your age, it's not as important, because you're still developing and you're starting to build muscle, and it's important, but it's not like absolutely critical. When you get to college, or especially when you become a pro, it is absolutely critical that you have that in there. But at your age, body weight stuff is going to be great. I do have a video out on my main channel called Core for Runners. It's kind of a nice like 8-minute abs type program that's really, really good. And then I also have some lifting for runner videos that will show you some of the more functional lifts that I did to really improve my posture and my running economy. Is it mandatory for you at your age? No. Will it help? Absolutely. So, check out those resources, speak with your coach, and just understand that, as you become more mature and more fully developed, that will become more and more critical for you to help you achieve your 100% ability, or 100% of your potential.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you calling in, man. Kick butt this season.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too, Benjamin. All right, you guys, I hope you found that helpful. Thank you so much for everyone who called in. If you want to be on the Nick Symmonds Show, if you want to call in and ask me anything, you can text me at the number below. Also, this week I have linked in the description below some of my absolute favorite products for training, whether it's in the gym or out running. Check out these products. I think you'll find them really helpful. See you next week.